even though we got the T-post sprinkler and it works really well to get most of the garden, it still doesn't get everything in the corners. I'm thinking about putting more T-posts in the garden to trellis some more things, and maybe I can move the sprinkler to a place where it would get these four corners as well. I tried putting out 2 T-post sprinklers to see if one could do half and the other could do the other half, but the water pressure is just terrible when I split it between the 2. So that won't work. I guess I could, if I did 2, I could maybe do them at different times, run one and then run the other to get all of the garden space. So I need to go over and get one tomato over here that doesn't get watered by the sprinkler. This one was planted from a cutting. We'll see how it does. So far it seems to be surviving. The first day I wasn't so sure, but it had roots, so it had a good start. So I'm doing a garden tour a little later tonight. Today is, let's see, July 14th. It's a Sunday. You'll notice something new in the garden. Something I did recently. Isn't that so pretty? I want to do more, but I don't have any more places to hang them. It's dry. Okay. Yeah, you might have to pound it up and down on the ground a little bit for it to come out since it's dry, like upside down. Oh, all right. Guess that works. Did you find any eggs? Whoa! All over your head. Shake your head off.
Well, that turned out funny.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, so we have these 4 tomato plants that are coming along really well. I've done some pruning to them already, taking off the bottom leaves, and just making sure they're getting plenty of ventilation. I planted in half of this row in the front foot. I did 6 more tomatoes. I don't think that's one of them. I don't know if I've seen them come up yet. But I did, so I started one like in between the end and this first raspberry. There should be one there, and then one in between the first and second, third, so on. So I did 6 different tomato plants. Let's see, 3 different varieties, 2 of each. And they're new. They're slicer tomatoes, and they are all heirloom. Paul Robeson, Brandywine, and Purple Cherokee. That's it. So our raspberries are coming along. Blueberries not so much, but I brought out my sulfur tonight so I could add some to the soil, add some acidity. Our corn down here is coming in, but you can tell where it's not getting much water down here. I need to remedy that. But it's growing. These tomatoes are looking good. I came through and did a thorough pruning of them the other night after I installed these lights. It really helps to work after it gets dark and it's cooler. It's not so humid. I think since the last tour we put mulch down on these tomatoes, and so far it's done really well. There are some grass pieces coming through. I need to go pull or cut. And then I'll probably put this tomato in a cage because these can all reach, they'll be able to reach the trellis, but that one won't. So I'm excited for these. And I did find, so Dan was awesome and mulched this whole thing for me while I was gone one day. And, but he didn't realize that I had marigold flowers in between each one, so he covered them up. But I found some of them, so there's, can't see it on the camera. So there's one. And yeah, I found a handful of them, so we'll have some marigolds. Let's see. This is getting overgrown. I need to go through this and figure out what's going on with it. I might plant something for fall here. I have seen some of the leeks coming up, I think it is, but really it's not enough. You know, just a handful, and I might just pull them and start something new. While I've been mulching, I've been neglecting some things, so like my beet greens aren't looking that great right now. Let's see, we'll kind of go from side to side here. My broccoli and Brussels sprouts I've been spraying with the neem oil every so often, and look, I actually have broccoli heads. And I have leaves that aren't eaten. It's so exciting. Like, check that out. So there's some broccoli. So I'm gonna continue with the neem oil. I just come out here and do that at night. I did it a couple nights in a row, and then I had to skip one night because we were out, and then I did it the next night. So they've had a handful of applications so far. My cabbage, I've been doing that too as well, and you see we now have bigger cabbage heads, which is good, but leaves, I don't know if I should pull off all these leaves that have been eaten up or if it's okay to just leave them there. But you can see all the damage that's been done to those, but they are starting to come back. Or come in, I should say. So that's good. Chard. I harvested a big bunch. I think it was last week or two, and chard and kale. Washed it all and put it in a Ziploc baggie with some paper towels, and it's done really well. Like, we're able to eat on it and it's not going moldy, so I need to do that again. Some of these broccoli still getting eaten, but I'm happy to see some good solid leaves growing. Green onions we've been eating on. Cauliflower we are getting some solid leaves back. That's good. I haven't seen any cauliflower yet. I think we've started Brussels sprouts now. Brussels sprouts, these are weeds. Brussels sprouts are getting new leaves. Like, look at this. This even looks like a cabbage. Like, did a cabbage get mixed up in here? And then peppers. I think there's one bell pepper in here that's going to be ready to pick soon. We have jalapenos coming in over there. And then, where's that one? Big bell pepper. And there's one, but that's not the one I'm thinking of. Oh, there it is. Okay, so that one's starting to turn a little yellow, it looks like. Still not maybe as big as it should be, but keep an eye on that. Of course, the corn is double my height. And some that might be ready soon. Like this one is getting pretty filled out. Ezra, you being nice to the chickens? So cucumbers, we've already been harvesting some cucumbers. They're looking great, doing well, as far as I know. Our green beans are kind of getting taken over by cucumbers, poor things. And it looks like some bugs. But I just harvested some of those today. Well, there's a nice cucumber coming in. And we'll take it. Okay. So yeah, green beans, and then we start tomatoes. It's starting to get a little dark out here, so hopefully we can get everything in. Tomatoes I've been tying up more, and we have some brown tomatoes growing on this one, a good amount. Excited for those. You can see on the other side some San Marzanos. I think that's the only brown tomato plant that has fruit so far, but the other ones are looking good. So lots of San Marzano tomatoes coming in. These are Roma tomatoes, good paste and sauce tomatoes. Ezra, what you doing, bud? Don't stress out the chickens, please. You can get a better view of the brown tomatoes over here. I guess they are heirloom, so they're doing some cat facing I've heard about. Oh, there's a squash bug on that one. Did they get him? So see how that tomato is doing on the bottom and the side. Apparently that's called cat facing, and heirlooms do that, but it's perfectly okay. You just cut it off when you go to eat it. Let's see. This tomato needs to be tied up a little more. These cherry tomatoes are going crazy. Okay. So, my squash, all the squash is going crazy. It's hard to even walk through this path, so I need to go through and prune some of these back. They're all coming out into the path. I think next year I might try tomato cages with these when I plant them. I've seen some people do that. This tomato plant was a volunteer in this spot, and it is a cherry tomato plant. If you can see that stem of cherry tomatoes on there, right next to a San Marzano. This, I think it was, no, this one over here. This one over here, I had to cut back a bunch of, and I'm going to spray it while I'm out tonight. It had some blight on its leaves, so I think I left one. Yeah, so I don't know if you can see it, but it's like kind of yellow and brownish leaves on there. And it's a disease of the plant, a fungus, I think, and so I don't want it to like touch and spread to any other plants. I cut off this top, but I don't want to cut off this top because then it'll stop the plant from growing. So I don't want to do it unless I have to. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to spray. I made a hydrogen peroxide mixture. I'm going to spray the plant and see if that helps. I might just have to cut off this top because I don't want the blight to spread. Let's get that one. Is that part of this plant? No, that's part of that plant. So yeah, I don't want it to spread. We'll try to take these plants and like move them away from this one. All right. Can we still see green beans falling down? I still haven't planted anything in this spot that I took the peas out of, but really the cucumbers are taking over everything, so I'm okay with that. I think I'm going to do maybe some beets in this spot. So some fall beets. And then that way they won't interfere with the cucumbers at all. Squash, zucchini, and yellow crookneck we've been consistently harvesting. I did get to weed some of this part of the bed with the carrots. I still have more to do, but it's something I have to do by hand and try not to disturb the carrots. And then all this butternut squash is growing and just sprawling everywhere. And then my pumpkins and gourds are also sprawling everywhere. So I think I'm gonna try to either use some T-posts or like make teepees to wind them up so that I can get my paths back. Because you can see like there's no more path here to get through. Did you find any eggs? No? Okay. So anyway, I'd like to put up more of these string lights because they don't give off a ton of light. Either that, replace the bulbs with something that is brighter, but it's really nice out here at night. Especially tonight, there's a nice breeze. And I like working out here better at night anyway. So a quick tour tonight. Ezra's closing up the chickens. Do you need help, bud? Nope. Are all the chickens in?
Yep.
Oh, thank you.